Okay, so here's where we're at. I'm getting there. Hi there, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. My name is Leah Nev, and I'm so excited that you are here today. This is part 2 of a recent video that I did using only Dollar Tree decals, and I have for you 9 more DIYs. I can't wait to show you. Let's get started. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to start with this little bunny. It was so cute already to begin with, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more of a look that I actually like and want in my home. I removed everything from it, and then I'm going to take this Dollar General. It's like a planter, and I'm just going to just use it as a guide. So I am going to remove a little bit of the portion of the egg. So I don't want it to look like it has an egg. I want it to look like it's the bottom portion of the bunny. So we're just going to keep it round, but we are going to score it using the blade knife, and then we're just going to snap it and then sand it to where it is smooth. You won't even tell that it was not there before. Now, I did leave the arms for now, but later on I do remove them because I decided I didn't want them. I am going to sand everything down using a palm sander and a 150 grit sandpaper to remove glitter, any glue that is on it. I did wipe it down really well, and then I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. Then I'm going to use some painter's tape, and I am going to, for the first time ever, create my own plaid look using painter's tape in different colors of gray. So I'd made some vertical lines, and I am using some Rust-Oleum chalk paint grays that I had already on hand, and I'm just going to start painting, drying, and keep adding some now horizontal tape, and then I am going to continue to show you how I did it and making sure that every gray that I use is a little darker than the last. Hey friends, I want to invite you to connect with me on social media. I am very active on social media, and I recently just created a Facebook group where you can share, connect, and get inspired by other crafters. And I have everything linked down below, including my Instagram page. So check them out. Again, it is linked down below, and I love to connect with you there as well. So now that I have everything painted, I'm just going to remove all the tape, throw that out, and going to reveal the buffalo check. At this point, I have no clue if I did it right or not because I had no clue. This was the first time I ever did it, but it actually turned out pretty good. It is kind of too sharp for me right now, so I did sand it down quite a bit just to soften it and give it a little bit more of a distressed farmhouse look. And as you can tell, I have already removed the little arms from it, and it looks so much better. I wiped it down really well, and I'm going to use some of these decal flowers that I love. It's one of my favorite ones to work with, and I'm actually going to do another DIY with it later on. I'm going to place them one towards the bottom, one towards the top. And then I'm going to remove the excess using my X-Acto knife. And then, of course, we need a little bunny tail. So I have some cotton they're not cotton swabs. They're just little pom-poms that I actually removed from a different DIY a while ago. And I'm just going to use them to hot glue a little tail on him. And look how cute. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite from today. I had to put it first because I just loved it. I loved the plaid. I don't even know if I did it right, but I like the look and I think it turned out super cute. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I am going to take this pot holder. It's one of those that you place on your counter and you can put a hot pot on it. I'm going to remove the little pads that I had on the bottom. And then I'm also going to remove the sticker that's on it. Oh, this took forever and a day. So I will not drag you with me as I remove it. But let me tell you, I tried several things. So I scraped off the paper. Then I tried some 100% pure acetone to see if that would help. It didn't help. And then I tried some Goo Gone to see if that would help, and it softened it, but it didn't help that much. I literally just had to go and just do it with my little scraper from, I think the one I used is from Cricut, but you can use anything you have, and just make sure that it's not too sharp so it's not scraping the glass. But it took me a while. Now I finished it off using a piece of this Brillo pad with some water, and that worked great. So maybe do that from the beginning and it might work better if you're going to retry this one at home. I'm going to give just one little portion, 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, just the top portion because we do need to hang this eventually, and I'm going to show you why I had to paint it. I'm going to take this decal. It is a Be Happy decal. one of my favorites as well. I'm going to place the B portion. I did cut them into how I needed them so that it kind of matches what I need them to look like. And then I'm going to place them where I need them. And then the happy is going to go right underneath the B. And then I'm going to place the little B here. And I am going to use this decal once again on another DIY and show you how you can make it different. And here's why I needed to paint that top portion white, to hide the tape on the back. But I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's also one of my favorites from today. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, we are using once again the Be Happy decal. This is actually a third one that we're using this decal, but this time I'm going to use this little mug. It's from the Dollar Tree, and I think it's super cute. You can use it for coffee, hot chocolate, or even soup because it's on the larger side. For this one, I'm just going to use the floral portion of the decal, and I am going to use my X-Acto knife and start making some slits as I need to, because this is a rounded and it has like rounded shapes, and just I needed to cut and make a few slits here and there to make sure that it's going to be as smooth as possible. And let me tell you, it worked out so beautifully. I love, love, love the way this one turned out. So I'm just going to cut some excess from the bottom as well as from the top, making sure that it looks smooth and straight. And then it's time to add some florals inside. I did add some floral foam from the Dollar Tree right on the inside. And then it's time to add some greenery and some florals that I already had on hand. Of course, you can leave it with just the greenery portion, but I think adding a little bit of that pink color that the decal has made this one pop beautifully. This would be a beautiful gift you can give maybe for Mother's Day, and it could be used as a centerpiece, just like a floral arrangement, and they can even later on remove the decal and just use it as a mug, and I think it would be a perfect gift. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this little wooden egg that I got at the Dollar Tree. It comes 2 in a pack. I'm only going to use one. I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and I sanded the edges down just a bit. Then I'm going to take one of these little larger terracotta pots from the Dollar Tree. I added a little bit of foam on the bottom and some Spanish moss. And I'm going to add these little white flowers from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to leave it like that for now, but later on we're going to add some more greenery just because it needed it. It was a little scarce, and I just wanted to add something. I'm going to hot glue a dowel to the back of the egg, and then it's time to add a decal. I am going to add one of these floral ones. It's like a Paris decal, but I'm only going to use one of these little floral ones, and I'm going to place it to the right side and cut off the excess using my X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to place the egg right into that foam. And that's it. I'm going to add some extra greenery as I mentioned earlier, but I told you these are easy. They're so easy and just so beautiful and very springy, perfect for Easter as well. I just love them. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this galvanized mason jar, and it's like a plaque, and you can use it for whatever you want. And for this time, I'm going to remove everything from it, and I'm going to make some additional holes on the top using my crop-a-dile, which I get on my Amazon store, and I do have them on my Amazon store, so make sure you check that out. It is linked down below. Once I had all the holes made, I found these metallic decals that I had not seen before, and this one says God bless you. And when I tell you that this worked perfectly for this galvanized plaque, I mean, it worked perfect. It looked like it was part of it. Look at that. You can't even tell where the decal starts and the plaque begins. It's just awesome. So then I'm going to take some more of those greeneries. Actually, these came from Walmart, and I just going to place one little pick in each hole, and then I'm going to flip it over and use some tape to hold it in place, and then cut the excess with my X-Acto knife. That way it just looks like the greenery is coming out of the top of the mason jar. And then I'm going to add a bow, and just a very simple bow using burlap ribbon. I'm going to loop it like an awareness loop, and then scrunch it in the middle, tie it with some jute string, cut off the excess legs, and then hot glue it right underneath all the greenery. And it was missing a little something, so I found these little yellow flowers that I already had on hand. They kind of go with the decal, so I just hot glued a few there in the center, and that's it. Look how beautiful this one looks. Of course, I love that it says God bless you. And again, just that metallic decal looks perfect with the plaque. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take these 3 little garden signs and I'm going to remove the string that it had on them, and I'm going to give each 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And then after that, we're going to start applying the decals. We're going to use 2 different decals. We're going to use the one that says Faith, Hope, Love, and we're going to start applying those first. The Faith we're going to start applying towards the right side of the first plank. Then the Love is going to be towards the left side, and then the wait, is it hope? Yeah, hope to the left and then love to the right. There you go. And then that way they all kind of match, but they are in different spots. And then we're going to use that same floral decal that I used earlier, and I'm going to use 3 of them. And I'm going to place 1 flower on each board on the obviously opposite side of the word. Now, the key here is to make sure that you are placing them in different angles so that you get different styles and different colors of the flower. And then I'm just going to flip it over and cut the excess off once again using my X-Acto knife. And while I'm doing that, I want to remind you that if you do not own a cutting machine and you want more options than the decals from Dollar Tree, check out my Etsy shop. It is linked down below. I have many decals, free shipping, and you're going to love them. Check it out. It is linked down below. Okay, so now I flipped them over and I'm just going to add some of this ribbon that I got at Michael's a while ago. And it came with a bundle, and I'm just going to hot glue and making sure that each plank is equally away from each other. And it's about 1 inch away from each other. So I am going to place the ribbon up one side, loop it on top, and then hot glue it on the other side. So that way it can hang like a little ladder. And then we are going to just add a little bit of antiquing wax. Now, maybe I should have done this before I added the ribbon, but it was no big deal. It worked out well. So I'm just going to add Waverly antiquing wax using a makeup sponge, and I'm just going to do it all around the edges, including the decal. I want it to look like it all goes together. I'm going to do that on all 3 planks, and then I'm going to take my brush with very little paint on it, and I'm just going to dry brush to mute down the antiquing wax a little bit, but I'm also going to dry brush the entire thing, including the words, including the flowers, and that way everything will have a little bit more of a distressed, naturally distressed kind of look that I really love. And this one is also one of my favorites today. I think it's stunning. It's large, it's beautiful, and it only cost a couple of dollars. I love it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take 3 of these larger eggs from the Dollar Tree. We're going to remove each half from the other. And then we are going to take the more rounded portion of it, and we are going to start cutting them. I'm going to use my shears that I get on Amazon, and I do also have on my Amazon store. And I'm going to start cutting them in zigzag motion. This is to make it look like a cracked egg. You know what I'm talking about, where the egg looks like a little chick came out of it, and it's really cute. There you go. See? And we're going to do that with the 2 remaining one as well. And then I'm going to take my little wood burning tool that I also have on my Amazon store, by the way, and we're going to start soldering or melting the 2 pieces together. You probably know as well as I do that these eggs come apart really easily. So I did this on my last video that I used decals, and this just really solders and melts that seam, and it creates a very tight bond. And let me tell you, it's not going to go anywhere. It's really, really melted on there, as you can see. And I'm going to do that with the other 2 as well. Now I am going to give all 3 eggs 1 coat of my mixture of spackle and paint. If you follow me for a while, you know that I always have on hand a little bit of mixture of spackle and paint because it creates a thicker mixture and it creates a really cool texture on anything that you put it on. While that first coat dries, I'm going to take these 3 little terracotta pots. These are the smaller ones. They come 3 in a pack, and I'm going to give them 1 coat of Waverly chalk paint in the moss, which is beautiful. One of my favorite Waverly colors. And then I'm going to start adding some Spanish moss onto each little pot. Just a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot, but it's going to look like a little tiny nest. It's so stinking cute. And then I'm going to take the eggs and I'm going to start placing these decals. Now these decals came with the Hope, Faith, and Love decal, but these are the little leftover like wiggly lines, and I thought they were perfect size for the eggs, so I'm going to place one on each, and that's it. How easy is that? Then I'm going to place some hot glue on each little pot and then place one egg in each one. This is going to hold it perfectly because they're not too heavy. And then we're going to add some more Spanish moss inside each egg, and then we're going to add some flowers. This one took a little longer than the rest, I will admit, because we had to add several coats on the eggs. We had to cut the eggs, then solder them together, all those steps, but it was so worth it. I love these eggs. They have a very farmhouse spring look. The decals add a little bit of chicness to it, and it's so cute. I love it. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this paddle style sign. It's like a garden one as well, and such a fun one. It's so circular. It's like a perfect little circle. So I removed everything, including the stick, gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and now I am going to drill 3 holes because we're going to make a little hanging shelf. So I made 3 evenly separated holes, and then I'm going to take my little knitting needle here and some white jute string. We're going to thread 3 of them right through the holes and make a knot on the bottom, and that way we'll have our little hanging portion of the shelf. If you are enjoying this video, I would love for you to take a second and give me a thumbs up. A thumbs up really helps my channel grow and helps this video reach more viewers. And now that we have the string and the holes already made and in place, we are going to use that same decal that I've used in 2 other DIYs, the Be Happy one, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut off the bee, the happy, the flowers, everything separated, and then add them as needed to the shelf. Again, it's going to overlap just a little bit. I'm okay with that. We can cut that off using the X-Acto knife. We're going to add the little bee right here, and then we're going to take all the strings and we're going to tie them together to create the little shelf hanging portion of it. And it's so beautiful. They're all my favorite. I love them all. I just love this decal. So any DIY that has this decal is going to be my favorite because it's really beautiful. But I love this one. All right, get ready to be blown away by the hardest DIY ever. Okay, so I am joking. This is the easiest DIY, easiest craft you'll ever make. This is another one of those pot holders from the Dollar Tree. And I had nothing to do with it. Basically removed the plastic. And then here again is another one of those Be Happy decals. And I am going to use the floor portion of it and place it right on the right-hand corner. And that's it. Is this even considered a DIY? Like seriously, it's so easy. But it is stunning. Look at it. I added this little vase from Target Dollar Spot and some greenery. Beautiful, simple, crisp, and fresh. I love it. You're going to have to let me know if you have a favorite because I can't pick a favorite, but I'd love to hear from you. Which one is yours? If you're visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I'm going to have a playlist here and the other part 1 video here if you haven't watched it. Check them out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.